Shift AM,
bringing you the latest and greatest in automotive media. Today we have
the Irish Drift Festival.
Today we're at Tipperary Raceway, one of Ireland's first ever purpose-built racetracks.
From 2003 to 2008, drifting was a regular feature here in Rosegreen, but there hasn't been anything here since the last Pro Drift series saw James Dean take podium at the last ever Rosegreen event.
We're here celebrating 20 years of Irish drifting in the place that it all started.
We get to see some of the best drivers in the country battle it out in a top 16 for the title of Champion of Champions. We're also going to be treated to some of the best drivers showcasing some of the most iconic cars in the Irish drift scene.
We'll be catching up with a few of the drivers, ask them what it's like to be here for the first time, what it's like to be back, and what it's like to be part of 20 years of Irish drifting.
We'll also be catching up with some of our sponsors during the day. But first, let's go bother a few of the drivers.
So Alan, what's it like to be competing at Rosegreen today?
You know what, it's pretty much a dream come true, to be honest. It sounds a bit positive in a way, in a sense, but I first came here in 2003 to watch my first ever drift event, and you know, I've been watching here for years. I've watched many generations of drivers come through, and finally getting my shot of being able to drive it's actually quite it's quite interesting, to say the least.
Obviously Alan, you're having a great season, winning the last round of Mondello and winning the Red Bull pursuit. What are you hoping for here today?
Look, this is only a fun event for us. You know, in 2 weeks' time we're heading up to the north for round 4, and we're obviously leading the championship. But you know what, I can never say no to pushing hard. So I don't know, how does winning this event sound? It sounds pretty good to me, so we'll see what happens.
So I got to catch up with one of the youngest competitors of the IDC at the moment. He wasn't even born the last time a drifting event happened at Rosegreen. I got to chat to Davin Leahy. So we're here at the Irish Drift Festival and I'm here with Davin Leahy. Davin, like, you're so young, how does it feel to be here at Rosegreen today?
Well, you can't really explain it, like, you just love it.
So like, you're part of history, like there's some really big names here, like that must be like really monumental, like for someone your age to be like, you know, part of it and, you know,
yeah,
in a part of like the history books.
Yeah, loving it, like.
And like, you're up against some big names today. What are you hoping for in the whole Champion of Champions?
Well, I would be delighted if I got a podium here today, like. Here it's less competitive, like, it's more fun, drive, enjoy yourself, like. IDC is more, you need to try and win, like.
No, that's fair, my love. And look, thanks a million for like talking to us today, and I hope you have a great time out there.
Thanks.
I also got to catch up with an absolute force to be reckoned with in the Irish drift scene, Jack Shannon, who's currently competing in Drift Masters and contending week in, week out. So we're here at Tipperary Raceway for the Irish Drift Festival, and we're here with two-time IDC champion, Jack Shannon. So Jack, how does it feel to be back here after all these years?
Yeah, it's fairly good now, to be fair. This is actually where like my motorsport career started, so I would have had my first race, first trophies, first crashes, everything within the walls of this oval, so it's cool to come back, and obviously in the sport that I decided to choose when I was like 12, 13 years of age, and yeah, no, it's been a fair long time since I've actually been here, and I got to drive my drift car when I was like 12 here, like just do a couple of laps as a demo, like, and I never thought that I'd get to do a competition here, so it's cool, it's nice to be back, and obviously the weather will make it even better.
And what you make of all the young guns coming up now?
Yeah, it's like obviously I was once a young gun, so like for me to see it, it's very, very cool, you know. Like now I kind of feel, I get to feel how all the other drivers felt when they were battling me and stuff. But speaking of young guns, I actually battle Owen Magner next in top 8, like, and he's a neighbour of mine, and like he's just turned 17, like, so
serious driver.
Yeah, he's definitely like probably one of the most natural drivers that I've seen on the scene in a while. But yeah, like it's unbelievable to see, like, and you know, especially when they come from like, you know, like fields and like oval racing stuff. It's very good, very good, very cool to see.
And you're in borrowing a car today. How is she feeling?
Yeah, no, it's good. Obviously this car is belonged to Craig. Me and Craig we actually met here in Rosegreen doing racing, so we built the car from before, and I've been helping him with this car, but he'd have to build it up to like a fairly like pro spec machine now. Yeah. So yeah, he somehow trusts me to take it every time I need it for an event. But yeah, no, it feels good. It's nice to be back in an S-body again. It's been a few years, but yeah, no, it's a lot of fun, and everything seems to be going to plan.
Sure, I won't keep you any longer. We can hear the tyres burning in the background. We'll get back to the action.
Well, sincere. Thanks very much.
So with everyone that I got to talk to at Rosegreen, I got to chat to one of the OGs of drifting, O Solivan. He laid the track for our present and future drifters, and knows his stuff.
Hey guys, we're here at the Irish Drift Festival. I'm here with Eric O Solivan, who can tell me all about the history and the roots of Rosegreen. So Eric, how are things? What is it like being back here today?
It's incredible being back here today, yeah. The first time I came here was 2004, before I ever drove a rear-wheel drive car. I was a Honda guy originally. Came down to spectate. Had heard about this drifting thing in Japan. You know, the internet wasn't really much to talk about back then. We'd seen a few DVDs, came down to see an actual event, and just thought it was amazing. And I think I went on the way home, cars were pretty much for sale almost straight away, and I wanted a Nissan more than anything because that's what I'd seen on DVDs. But I ended up in a twin cam Corolla, and I was a twin cam guy from then on, absolutely sold, and that's how I started my career, yeah.
I love that. So that's how it started, with the love of twin cams as well. And speaking of this beautiful machine behind me, you were just telling me off camera about the great amount of travelling that this car has done. So take me through it.
Yeah, so this little car started life out as a pretty rough Japanese import that nobody really wanted. It came in with a cage in it, no interior. It was kind of beat up a little bit, but it had a 20 valve 4AG engine, and as soon as I saw it, I knew it was perfect for what I wanted to do, which was literally drive it from Dublin to Rosegreen. We do drift days and drive home before I was competing. We spent the whole of 2006 changing the car from pretty basic twin cam, which was a road car essentially with a 20 valve in it, to similar to what the spec is now. The whole year putting a Honda S2000 engine and gearbox in it, light ace back axle, proper cage, proper motorsport wiring. But we got it out, I think, towards the end of 06. Did a couple of events, had some teething problems, but went out in 2007 and won 4 out of the 5 Pro Drift events. Yeah, it was, and from then on we just had massive success and did a lot of travelling.
Wow, so the history is very, very deep. And you mentioned there as well Darren and Julian as well. So like, the lads are here as well today. What does that mean to you guys to be here? And you see the next generation as well out on the track. Like, there are some phenomenal boys out there today. Like, what does it mean now to see the young bloods, the up and comers, like ripping around the track that you guys would have ripped around and pioneered this sport?
For all of us who drive here today, it was fantastic. But to see the standard, like I've often wondered what, like in 2008, the car that won here in the last event was James Dean in like a 300 odd horsepower S14, and I've often wondered what a modern pro car would be like here, and it's absolutely wild. The speed, fire smoke, the sound, it's just so much faster than we would have ever gone around here, and some of them been driven by kids essentially, you know. So it's, you know, it's fantastic. But you know, I love the sport, and I'm a big advocate for Irish, especially young Irish talent, trying to get to the professional level. That's what we try and do at Club Loose. It's unbelievable. This track is not forgiving, it's dangerous, you've got walls, but they're pushing pretty hard for what is a fun event. Yeah.
And I suppose we'll leave it after one last question. Who are you most looking forward to seeing out on that track today? I know we got a few demos going on as well.
Yeah, well, for me, drifting is 50% driving and 50% the car. I'm a big car guy, and I'm really excited to see James's RX7 out there. I love that car. I could watch James drive all day, obviously, because it's incredible. And Darren as well in the Audi. An incredible car, and like I said, good friends with Darren. You know, it's a fun event. He's doing a demo, he'll put it on the wall. But I think out of everyone, to see Julian in the Blitz Skyline, another iconic car from our day. That's the car when the D1 drivers came here. That's one of the cars they drove, and that was, like I said, the very early days here. So to see it here at this stage in our, you know, area of drifting in Ireland, like 20 years on, in his hands out there again is fantastic. So yeah, I think between three and maybe Julian in the Blitz, yeah, it's most exciting for me. Yeah, it's a nostalgia thing, I guess, really. Yeah, fantastic.
Back to where it all began, and like that now it's getting smoky, so we'll leave it there. Let's go watch some drifting. Eric, thanks a million, my love.
Thank you very much.
I'm quite jealous of this next one. My co-host Sam got to interview one of the pioneers of the Irish drifting scene, the one and only Dave Egan.
Alright guys, we're here at the Irish Drift Festival. I am here with the man who needs no introduction, but head of Drift Games, Dave Egan.
How are you? Are you good?
All good, Dave. What's it like? I have to ask. First time here at Rosegreen. How do you feel?
It's amazing. So when I first got into drifting, the first time I ever picked up a microphone was the month before the last event in Rosegreen. So I was never here. I missed the whole era. And here we are, 15 years later, I'm back in like one of the most famous cars from Irish drifting, driving with some of the biggest legends. So I'm smiles for miles today, to be honest.
Oh my God, so it's kind of a full circle moment for you. So like a month before the last event.
Yeah.
You just missed it. And as you said, you're here with some of the biggest names. What do you make of the boys out on the track today?
Oh, it's been a lot of fun driving with everybody. I mean, I know most of these guys for years and years, even some guys I haven't lined up with in like 8 years. So we're all getting very nostalgic out there, having a lot of fun. And I'm driving my teammate Josh's car, so it's a new track, a new car, new everything, but we had a lot of fun. We got an 88 in qualifying, which I was pretty pumped on. So yeah, having a blast. It's super warm in the cars, but look, can't knock the smiles today.
And as you said, big nostalgia moment. You know all the boys. It's kind of like a bit of a friends reunion. And like the boys you don't know, what do you make of the young blood coming up?
Oh, I mean, this is the thing about Ireland. They just constantly produce it because you have such great role models in the likes of the Shannahans, Dwayne McKeever and James Dean. People have someone to aim for. And before them, they had the Darren McNamaras, the Mike Deans and all those guys to look up to. So it's been a constant generation jump. And every year, it just gets more competitive, more tough. And for someone like me, every youngster you see coming in there is such a threat because they've been on the simulators, which didn't exist 10 years ago. Now they're getting in all these laps. And you're like, who the hell is this guy? And then he's just whooping you on the track. So it's so strong, the future of Irish drifting, which is amazing.
And we love to see it. We're already here at the 20th anniversary. Like, you can only wonder, what do you think the future is going to hold for some of these young lads?
I mean, if we're winning championships, European championships for the last 15 years with Irish drivers who hadn't got the level of, say, technology in cars that we have now, I don't see it changing for a very, very long time. Remember, you want to be good and go to Europe, you got to beat the best in Ireland, and they're the best in the world. So you're already halfway there when you get to Europe, I think. So that's why we see the Irish top of the podium everywhere we go.
Irish do dominate. So Dave, thanks a million, my love. I hope you have a fantastic day today.
We'll do our best. See you guys.
I had a chance to talk to, again, one of Ireland's OGs of drifting. I got to talk to Darren D McNamara.
What's the crack, guys? We're here at the Irish Drift Festival. I'm here with Darren D McNamara. So Darren, what's it like being back here, where it all started, where you cut your chops?
It's surreal, actually. Small bit emotional. It's nice pulling to the gate here in a drift car for the first time in, I don't know, 14, 15 years. A long time. I remember the first time we came here, the first ever event with our road cars, maybe in 02, 03 or something like that. So it's surreal, but great weather, great day, everyone's having a good time. Old friends, old people you haven't seen for a long, long time from back in the day. So it's great that the sport has gotten to this, you know, that we have enough history to run something like this. We started here kind of messing around and trying to learn a trade in drifting, we'll say. And maybe, you know, don't want to sound too cocky, but maybe we've returned like 20 years later as some kind of legends, you know, with all the effort we've put into it. And it's great to see all the families and kids out, you know, and they love the sport now, and it's a real thing, you know. There's kids out there aspiring to be the next James Dean or whatever, you know. It wasn't like that when we started. We made it up as we went along. We introduced clipping points, we introduced wall runs, judging criteria, everything. It just took so much time for so few people to do, so there's a lot of commitment went into it, and it's great to see it. But it's 20 years, let's get emotional after 30 or 40 years. Like, I'm not that old. Like,
No, nobody's that old at all here. But like I said, there's some kids here who are out in the track now, and they would have been here, well, some of them wouldn't have been here at the last drifting event.
Yeah.
So like, it's new generations, new bloods coming up. How do you think drifting has evolved as a sport as a whole?
yeah, it's great. I mean, look, there's levels to it, and I mean, at the highest level, it's crazy, you know. It's a professional and very expensive situation, but it's just a sport that everyone can almost express themselves in, and they can go to fun days or practice days or bashes or whatever, you know. It's a little bit for everybody, which is not really motorsport. You know, motorsport tends to be very expensive, very cutthroat. I was involved in it long enough myself for a long time, so I started racing here when I was 11, my first time ever racing a car on the oval, and I've been back here many times. But it is where we started drifting. This was the track that listened to us as young guys who wanted to slide these cars around, and no one else would listen to us or give us a shot, you know. So it's great to come back and be here again after everything that went on, and be back here 20 years later. It's surreal.
Like, I've never seen a bunch of people united by something so amazing and just so welcoming as a group. Like, and being part of that, like, it's definitely a day that you can just turn and look at everything and say, yeah, man, 100%. You were part of this. You were part of the history made today.
Yeah, friends for life, you know, everyone helps each other out. Many times you go out there, there's parts from someone else on your car, you know, this kind of camaraderie. We do have an outstanding community here. It's really special, you know. It's something to be cherished, really.
Absolutely, and it's been great to be part of such an amazing day. So Darren, thanks a million for talking to us today, my love. Can't wait to see you later.
Sweet, thank you, bye-bye.
So we kicked off with the top 16, some of the best drivers that Ireland has to offer.
Battling it out against each other to find out who is the champion of champions.
Let's take a look.
came to our final four. This is to determine who is going to be the champion of champions of the Irish Drift Festival.
Taking the top 4 spots in the event were in 4th place Jakob, 3rd place Jack Shannon, 2nd place Alan Hines, and in 1st place none other than Kevin Quinn.
Kevin Quinn proved that he was the champion of champions that day, and it was great to catch up with him at the podium. Alright guys, I'm here with today's winner of the Irish Drift Festival. I'm here with Kevin Quinn. Kevin, how does it feel to be the first winner of the Drift Festival today?
I tell you what, it does feel very, very warm. No, hey, that's my first time here. Like, it's been a lot of drifting here. It started off, and it's nice to come and win the event. Like, you know, I only come for a bit of crack, so it's a bonus winning the event. You know, it's just a good old feeling. The crowd has been amazing, and the weather's been good. So hopefully there's more events here.
Love to hear it. And just speaking of good times and everything, you're fresh off of Goodwood as well, is that correct?
Yeah, we're over in Goodwood there. Was it 2 weeks ago? It's just, listen, that's another place that's absolutely fantastic to be part of, you know what I mean? And that's 5 years I'm doing it now, so hopefully we're there for the 6th year.
And what was it like being out with all the big names now from the past and the present and all the young bloods today? What do you make of all the boys?
Sure, I'm a real big name. What are you trying to say? No, listen, I've driven most of these boys throughout the years, but no, it's great to see them all here and all coming out for the day. Hopefully we can make something of this.
And like that, bit of a reunion, so it must be very nostalgic, but also a really good sign of the future of drifting.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Saying, you know, drifting started off here and we're back here today, 20 years later, so.
Well look Kevin, thanks a million, I'll leave it there my lovely. Pleasure speaking with you.
Thank you.
So that was just a little bit of what happened at the Irish Drift Festival in Rosegreen.
The perfect event to celebrate 20 years of Irish drifting.
And if you weren't there, you should have been.
This has been Shift AM,
Bringing you the latest and greatest in automotive media.
and today we've had the Irish Drift Festival.
And if you want to know more, follow our socials on screen now,
Or subscribe to our newsletter.
if you want to stay on track.
So you probably noticed we're not at Rosegreen anymore,
We're at 360 Motorsports Park, our local track.
which just so happens to be the location of the final round of the Irish Drift Championship 2024.
We'll be here bringing you the latest and greatest of automotive media.